How's it going, everybody? I'm Luke, and I'm joined by Joe once again. It's been about 2 weeks, I think, since we last came to you with the Charging Buffalo podcast. So, Joe, how you doing today?
I am doing just great. The Sabres just acquired Jeff Skinner a couple days ago,
Oh
and
yeah.
life is good.
Yes, indeed it is. The Buffalo Sabres have acquired the Skin Man
The Skin Man.
for
Yes, you're trying to start this.
I'm trying to start this. I've said it and I've called him the Skin Man forever in my head. I've never said it out loud. I've typed it to friends. I've never said out loud, and it just sounds absolutely ridiculous, but I want to catch on. So the title of this episode will be The Skin Man, and we
Okay.
have the Skin Man.
Okay, so I guess we'll kick this episode off with just breaking down the trade. So the Sabres acquire Jeff Skinner from the Carolina Hurricanes in exchange for 2016 third-round pick Cliff Poo, a 2019 second-round pick, a 2020 third-round pick, as well as a 2020 sixth-round pick. So my initial thoughts on this trade, at first, I loved it. I still love it. I still can't believe that it happened, and I feel like it's still just a dream, at this point. When I first saw on Twitter, I don't remember who tweeted out, but sounds like Sabres have acquired Jeff Skinner. The first thing that popped
I think
into
it
my
was Elliot
mind,
Friedman.
yeah,
I believe.
first thing that popped into my mind was, oh crap, our first round pick, one of our first round picks has to be involved in this trade, because they were asking for a first round pick, a roster player, and a prospect, something along those lines. And the fact that, Cliff Poo, who, I don't know, my prospect pyramid, I think I had him in like the third or fourth tier. So he's a good prospect. I'm not going to crap on the guy. He's very good. I think he has a pretty good chance of being an NHL player someday. I wouldn't be surprised. And then, a second round pick in a draft where we already have 3 first round picks, which that pick's expendable if you ask me. And then, third and a sixth, like those picks are pretty much nothing. You're not going to see those guys in the NHL for 5-6 years anyways, if they develop at all. So, that's below the market value for a top line left winger. And that's something that the Sabres are in dire need of. And the fact that Skinner was willing to waive his no move clause to come to Buffalo says a lot. I know he's a pending unrestricted free agent, but the fact that he was willing to move his no move clause to come here means that he's probably willing to sign a long-term extension with Buffalo. And I think they should sign him to a long-term extension, because, what is he, 26, signed to a 7-year deal. It takes him until he's 33. And, that's not going to be he's not going to be dropping off a cliff at that point. He still maybe can sign him to another contract, short-term deal.
It's even better that he wanted to come here and he said why. The young core, how promising we are, and that's why I waived my no move clause. It's a statement made by Jeff Skinner, and it's just
closer to home too, Toronto.
Yeah, he is ours. Now here's the deal with re-signing him. It's no big deal. Pominville's off the books.
Bogosian will be off the books in 2 years. Molson will be off the books.
Beaulieu will be gone this year, I believe. I don't think we'll bring him
Larson, back. Even McCabe.
Yes, so
he doesn't work out this year.
We got to sign Middlestat. We got to sign Dahlin. That's 3 years down the line. Guys will come and go. The roster won't be the same.
3 years from now, maybe you can, package a prospect or a pick to some team to get Oposo off your hands. The expansion draft in a couple years, maybe you can make a side deal with Seattle to take Kyle Oposo off your hands. The possibility, like the unmovable contracts, it just doesn't happen anymore. Like David Clarkson's been traded, Nathan Horton has been traded. Like guys move that have these horrifically bad contracts. It wouldn't surprise me at all if Oposo can go to some other team, like the Ducks. This is just, I'm just throwing throwing poo against the wall, no pun intended, just to see if it sticks. But, maybe they would be interested in Oposo because they're a budget team. They're not going to want to pay a guy like Ryan Kessler, who might never play again. I know he's not supposed to play next season. If that carries over into the remaining years of his contract, maybe instead of paying Kessler, they'd like to pay, a guy like Kyle Oposo who can actually play, and then the Sabres can just take Kessler and put him on the IR. Kind of a similar situation to the Horton for Clarkson trade. Columbus didn't want to pay Nathan Horton to not play, so they decided to take a flyer on David Clarkson, who coincidentally also suffered a injury that ended his career. So, something like that.
So
Nothing's impossible.
We gave the Hurricanes, we essentially gave them scraps.
I wouldn't say scraps. A second round pick and Cliff Poo, that's good, but it's not worth Jeff Skinner.
It's not like we don't make up for it in other rounds. We have 3 first-round picks.
3 first-round picks. It kind of stinks that I'm just banking on it that that third-round pick is going to be going to Pittsburgh for Sherry, because I'm expecting that he'll get at least 20 goals or 40 points, either one. But yeah, I'm excited. You have 3 first-round picks. You're not going to have a second, a third / fourth, or a fifth because of the Wilson trade as well. So, it's better to have quality over quantity, but you know what I mean. It's going to be a good draft. I'm excited. I've started watching some film from some of these guys. I've watched there's this channel on YouTube, I forget what it's called, but they post videos shift by shift of some of the prospects in the upcoming draft. I think I've watched Hughes, Kirby Doc, Peyton Krebs, and a couple other guys, but there's some very good guys at the top of the draft. After the Skinner trade, do you see this team as a playoff team? We're just gonna,
the Sabres?
Yes, I don't think so. I don't think so, because Skinner is an upgrade over Evander Kane. I would say that for sure, but they were still a horrifically bad team with Evander Kane. So, they still, I think they're a better team, a much better team. They have depth, unlike last year. They have NHL. I think you look at this roster; these are all NHL players, correct? These are all
absolutely.
There are no Jordan Nolans of the world on this team that are.
What I was talking about with some coworkers today is that I looked at this roster, and it is an NHL roster for the very first time in a number of years. And when we get into our lineup projections later, I'm going to address this more. But there are guys who I could not find a spot in the lineup, guys that I like, that I had to make as a 13th forward, because we have so much depth to choose from now. It wasn't like you wouldn't think of putting in Chris Kulo to the lineup at any point last year, but you knew last year who the lineup was going to be. Now we have options.
Exactly.
And that's all I've wanted. It's just, I've wanted a lot of things, but as far as the roster and lineup goes, I wanted options. I wanted NHL players. I was stressing throughout the season what this team needs to make the playoffs and to be competitive again is NHL players, and not Seth Griffith, not Chris Kulo, not Jordan Nolan, not Pouliot. I liked Pouliot for a little while, but we needed NHL players. We have skill, and we have NHL experience now, and that's a key. It's a great foundation to have. It's a great foundation that we have right now.
Yep. Speaking of Pouliot, Georges, those guys, do you think any of these guys are going to land a PTO anywhere?
I think Pouliot will. I think Georges I think he's done.
I feel like somebody will. I think Pouliot will sign a PTO, probably make a crappy team like Ottawa. They need guys more than anything.
Pouliot will play this year, whether it's or overseas.
I see Georges getting a PTO somewhere, but there's no way he'll make the roster, right? There's just no way.
No, I feel like a team like Calgary or like Colorado will sign like a PTO. Yeah. Give him a go in the preseason, and maybe he'll catch on as like a 7th guy. Just 2 teams that strike me.
Yeah.
Or Toronto, maybe give him PTO.
Oh my God! You know what? Georges wouldn't go to Toronto. Remember? There was that trade. There was that trade. Cody Franzen to Montreal for Josh Georges. Both ended up in Buffalo, but Josh Georges wouldn't waive his no trade to go to Toronto.
You know what? I'm going to go on record. This is the best lineup we've had since 2010.
Yeah, I agree with you.
I absolutely think so. There was too many odds and ends and shifting parts in our lineup since then, but like a definitive lineup.
It's starting to come together. You can see there's tangible parts to this team, and it's starting to get real.
Yeah, it's the best lineup we've had in 8 years. I
Jeff
firmly believe
Skinner
that.
is a Buffalo Sabre. I never thought
Skin
in
Man
100 years that I would see
plays for the
this.
Sabres.
There's no way.
I thought we were done. Last episode,
I
we
thought they were
asked
done
each
too.
other.
I think we've said it multiple times. I thought this
Yep.
team was done. I thought this was going to be the team, but you know,
Last
Jason
episode,
Botterill, man,
you asked
doing well.
me. You said, "Do you think the Sabres are done for the summer?" And I said yes. I said I don't see much moving from now to training camp. I thought it was time to just focus on what we got, regroup a little bit. But Botterill has clearly been hard at work all summer long to get this thing turned around, and swung a deal out of nowhere that none of us people wanted to trade Evander Kane for Skinner, and we didn't even have to give up that.
Yeah.
So,
and when you think about it, they got Skinner for pretty much the same package that we got for Kane. Is Cliff Poo a second round pick plus the two
and
less?
There's not even
first,
It's surprising that there's no conditions on the pick either. Like if Skinner scores 30 goals, it becomes a first round pick.
True.
You think they would have attached something like that, some kind of stipulation?
Yeah, apparently Skinner he denied this in his conference call or whatnot. I didn't listen to it. I saw it on Twitter, but there was word going around that he was rejecting trades around the draft, and
I saw left and right.
Yeah,
that's what I saw, left and right.
So his list of teams was very, very small. I can't imagine there probably was like 3 or 4 teams on it, but Buffalo had the cap space to make the trade. And their cap space at the moment doesn't look great. They have about $6 million. Reinhardt's going to take up a lot of that. So, but their long-term cap space looks very good. Like we mentioned a little earlier, Bogosian's coming off the books in a couple of years. They'll probably buy him out at the end of the season if he has another disappointing year with injury. Oposo, you can hopefully swindle a trade somehow, and then Molson, Pominville, they're both off the books. Gergensons, Larson, Beaulieu, McCabe, those guys are going to be RFAs at the end of the season. So I trust Jason Botterill. We're going to talk more in depth about him towards the end of the episode, but lots of optimism here. I want to touch on Cliff Poo for a little bit. I'm high on Cliff Poo. I really like him. He had a very good junior career. He played with Oshawa, London, won a Memorial Cup there. Also played for the Kingston Frontenacs. Got traded there at the trade deadline when London kind of blew up their roster. But, he's a really fast skater, and I thought that he impressed in training camp last year. When everybody got sent down back to junior, he stayed. He got an extra preseason game or two. Housley really was happy with how he played in preseason last year. But, he was going to play in Rochester this year. He's turning pro. He's going to play in Charlotte. I think Charlotte Checkers is Carolina's AHL affiliate. But kind of reminds me of Justin Bailey, Nick Baptiste. Fast skaters, but we have no idea if he's going to be able to pull it together and become an NHL player.
Right.
Who knows if Cliff Poo will ever be an NHL player? And, what time to cash in on that trade value than now, And
this doesn't have to be said because I think most people, even the hockey world, are sold that the Sabres won this trade, but we're not trading Pavel Bure. Yeah. We're trading a guy who
might be an NHL player. Jeff Skinner is a 30-goal scorer in the NHL. And, is Cliff Poo ever going to be Jeff Skinner? I think his NHL ceiling is probably second, third line wing if he ever reaches that, So, yeah. Do you want to touch any more on the Skinner trade? Move on.
There's not much more I have to say other than it's impressive that Botterill is able to get so much for so little the last 2 trades.
Yeah. Wait, hold on. Charging Buffalo just tweeted this out. Jason Botterill on Alex Nylander. We're going to give him an opportunity to play with our higher end offensive skill players in training camp. So, what do you think of that?
Do it. Let's see what the kid has. It is about time. I'm through waiting. Let's see what he has. Show me what you got.
They really need to give this kid an opportunity because, you don't. I'm trying to find a comparable to this situation, but they need to give him a chance, every opportunity to earn this spot because you cannot waste an 8th overall pick like that. You need to give this kid. Yeah, I wouldn't even say Dylan Strome, like somebody that just like never got an opportunity, just kind of like was buried in the minors, never got his chance. You know, they
Wait,
need to give him every opportunity possible to make the NHL roster this season. You know, it's going to be tough to work him in. You know,
how about
especially with the
Galchenyuk?
acquisition of Skinner. I'm not even going to say
Similar.
Galchenyuk, someone that just never made it because he never got an opportunity. You know.
Mm-hmm.
You know, play him with Eichel, play him with Middlestat in preseason.
Mm-hmm.
Give him every opportunity to shine and show what he has. You know,
Mm-hmm. The thing is, even
and
last
it sounds
season,
like, judging by his comments, they're going to do that.
he looked so raw still. Even
Yeah,
last season,
you know,
like he.
when he's played in the NHL, I thought he did fine. You know, maybe he just
Yeah,
just can't put it together in the AHL.
it's
But I
just.
thought he was fine because how many he's got, like 3 or 4 points in the NHL, something like that. I have no idea. I don't have the stats in front of me, but I thought he looked fine.
It's
Especially,
a,
I went to the last game of the season. He looked fine. He played with Eichel. You know, give him a chance. Give the guy a chance. You know,
I
I
just feel
know
like.
Rochester fans hate him because, you know, he's not this savior to the team, but, you know,
Mhm.
the guy's talent. He's a talented hockey player, and they
Yes.
drafted him very high, and you can't waste a pick like that and not give the guy a chance.
Mm-hmm.
Just
I just
because, you
think.
know, oh, let him earn it. You know, if they're, I kind of hope they gift him a spot. I just want to see this guy on the team.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I've been saying this all along. I want fun. I want to see these young guys grow. You know, he's 20 years old. I want to see the guy. 21. Is he 20 or 21 now?
Probably
Yeah, I think he's
21.
20. Give the guy a chance. I just want to see him, you know?
I think that when the flaws really just showed with him, like you could see the promise absolutely when he played,
Yeah.
but you could also see the flaws on more so than you could see in other guys.
He's not a perfect player. There's not many
No one
perfect
is,
players out there.
but Nylander is another guy who I didn't even think about because we have so many guys to choose from
Mm-hmm.
in our
Yeah,
lineup.
there's a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Would you rather give a guy like Nylander a chance out of camp, or, you know, a disappointing type player like Nick Baptiste, Justin
Oh,
Bailey, give CJ Smith a shot out
mm-hmm.
of camp, which I believe is a legitimate possibility. You know, you also got Danny O'Regan, Sean Malone. There's a lot of guys in Rochester that could potentially be a spot, but I just don't see it,
No,
especially
give
after this.
Nylander, give him all the chances in the world, as far as I care.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
exactly. I just want to see fun. I want to see
Mm-hmm.
goals. And as far as Nylander goes at the prospect few that's coming up in few weeks, something
Yep,
like that, September. Yeah. I want to see complete and utter domination out of him. You know,
absolutely.
he needs to, this is his third prospect tournament now? Second
Mm-hmm.
or third? Yeah, his third.
And he can do it. He can dominate.
Yeah, third. He needs to dominate. This is why I really wanted to see him at development camp. He really
Mm-hmm.
needed to, you know, show that he's a veteran here and he's got to step it up and show why he was an 8th overall pick. And I
Mm-hmm.
think he'll do it. And have you seen these Instagram pictures? He's jacked.
Oh, he
Alex
is. He's
Nylander is
very fit.
jacked.
He's
He
fit.
has completely transformed his body.
Mm-hmm.
You know, Tim Murray
Putting
in
in the
his
time,
final
clearly.
presser as the Sabres GM, he's like, he just needs to work on that physical side of his game, get
Mm-hmm.
bigger, and he has done just that. I'm
His
excited
final
to
word.
see. I think this guy has really taken it to heart and decided, like, hey, I gotta work stuff out here, and I think he's gonna surprise some people. I really hope.
He doesn't want to be the bastard of a really good of what's turning into a very good hockey family. That's for sure.
And if Alex Nylander shows up and is great in camp, you know, somehow makes the team out of camp, or, you know, this is probably the more likely scenario. He goes to Rochester and hopefully
Mm-hmm.
he plays fantastic and earns his way up. You know, people
Yeah.
probably like that a little more than him being gifted a spot.
Mm-hmm.
But this looks a whole lot better if Alex Nylander turns into what everybody thought he could be.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Yeah. And I have no problem with him starting in Rochester. I think that's where he will begin his season at.
Yeah, I'm in agreement there.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. We weren't planning on talking about Reinhardt, but I just got a notification that Jared tweeted that out, so I thought we'd touch on that really quickly.
Yeah.
So Sam Reinhart, probably the final order of business this offseason, still remains unsigned. Jason Botterill said in the conference call after the Jeff Skinner trade that they're still talking contracts. Things are moving positively. Something should get done soon. No word on if they're going to go long term or bridge. I'm kind of hoping they go long term. I want to see if they can get him for a steal of a contract because if Reinhart goes out next year, gets 70, 75 points, then 2 years from now, if you sign him to a bridge deal, you're looking at 7-8 million instead of 5. And when you have Middlestat, Dahlin, if Nylander is going to be making big money too, you're going to need to save as much money as possible. And if you look at Nashville, they're living proof that if you get these guys on long-term deals, you're able to go make a splash and acquire a star player.
I was terrified when I saw the Skinner news break that Reinhart, the talks had taken a turn for the worse and he was a part of the trade. But luckily, that didn't happen and we retained Reinhart through it all. But yeah, no doubt. We talked about it last show too. My opinion hasn't changed. I think it's still going to be a bridge deal for him, and I think it'll be no problem getting it done. He'll be at training camp, and all will be well in the world.
I want a long-term deal, but I think we're getting a bridge deal for Sam. But that's okay. That's okay.
Yeah. He'll be here. He'll be a Sabre for a while.
I'm hoping we get second half Sam Reinhart instead of first half.
Yeah. I think we will. The whole team was bad around him.
Yeah, everybody.
And he just stood out because the whole team was bad. Exactly. And he was mixing with that. And so, the blame fell on him.
Because cynical fan base that, the team is playing like crap. You got to find somebody to blame. And, Sam Reinhart, second overall pick. Leon Draisaitl, William Nylander, Nick Ehlers, all these guys are playing well. And they're like, let's just go out and blame this guy. So
Pasternak.
Yeah, Dave Pasternak. But, if you're saying, we should have drafted Dave Pasternak, like you're crazy. That's
pick 25.
Yeah. But sure. Sam Reinhart, I think he's going to have a good season. I want to see 20, 25 goals. Hit me with the assists, Sam. I want to see a lot of assists. I think we said, this last season. I want to see like 50, 60 assists out of this guy next year.
I want to see some dirty goals in the crease because we know he thrives there. I just want him to get those dirty goals.
Yeah, put him in front of the net on the power play again.
One of my biggest peeves was how terrible we were in front of the net on both ends of the ice last year.
Yes.
And
nobody was in front of the net. Nobody.
Right. Nobody. And on offense, Reinhart is a guy.
Leonard would have somebody in front of him every game at all times, planted in front of the net, and then they would have nobody in front of the opposing goalie. And that bothered me so much. You got to have somebody in front of the net.
Yeah. And Reinhart
does that. We'll move on to the World Junior Summer Showcase. Before we were talking on Hangouts for a little bit before, and we were watching USA Canada. This was the only game I was able to watch in full. I watched the first period of Finland USA the other night. Of course, Sabres have 3 prospects participating in the showcase. Matthias Samuelsson, the 32nd overall pick in 2018, playing for Team USA. Also, Ukko-Pekka Luukkonen and Askari Laaksonen playing for Team Finland as well. Luukkonen played in yesterday's game. I couldn't watch, of course, but I heard that he played very well. And Laaksonen playing on the top pair for Team Finland. So, Finland isn't as stacked on defense as they were the past couple of seasons. So Laaksonen is going to have a pretty big role, I would assume, on this Finland defense. And I'm excited to see him. He was kind of the mystery man drafted in the 2017 draft in the 3rd round. He got some time in the Liga at the end of last season, playing in the men's league after playing junior. I forget. I don't know how to pronounce his team's name. I'm just going to say Ilves, pretty sure. Something along those lines.
Now, enlighten me or just remind me, was Laaksonen the one who was not at development camp?
He was not at development camp.
Okay.
I don't know why. I'm pretty sure I saw Chris Baker say that he might be at training camp, so that means he'll probably be participating in the Prospect Challenge, which should be fun to see.
But he has resurfaced at least, because I remember the rumor was that he was doing mandatory military service.
That was the rumor, yes, because in Finland, I forget what age, but every male needs to have mandatory military service, something along those lines. And of course, it's only 4 countries that participate in the World Junior Summer Showcase. It's Canada, USA, Finland, and Sweden. So I would expect that Matej Pekar will be playing for the Czech Republic for the World Juniors. That's, you know, I would be very surprised if he doesn't play for them. And I can't think of any other of our prospects that would be playing. I know Marcus Davidson isn't eligible to play for Sweden. Yeah, I think that's it. Just those 4 guys. Samuelson, I don't know if he's a lock to play for USA or not, but I would say that Luukkonen and Laaksonen are definitely locks for Team Finland, and Matej Pekar should definitely be playing for Team Czech Republic. And the rumor that Pekar is not going to be able to play for the University of Miami until the second semester is true, so he'll be playing for the Muskegon Lumberjacks again for next season, and I expect him to really light it up as he won the Rookie of the Year award in the USHL last year.
Pekar, I love the fire in that kid.
Yes.
He had a very active
He won everybody
camp.
over. He won everybody over in development camp. You know, I really liked the pick. There were some guys that I really liked that were still available with that 4th round pick, but you know, he had a very good year in Muskegon in the USHL, and you know, won Rookie of the Year. And I'm excited to see this guy play. He's kind of undersized, but you know, plays with that fire. He's got some skills too. He said that he wasn't the flashiest guy out there in development camp, but you know, watching some of the highlights, watching the 3-on-3 tournament, he dangled Darlene. That was pretty fantastic to watch as well. So I'm really excited about Matej Pekar.
It's hard to dangle the dangle daddy, I must say.
Yes, the dangle daddy.
I'm very excited. I think Pekar is probably in my tier 1 of prospect hype that I have.
I'm excited for him.
He's one of my top guys.
And speaking of prospects, Ukko-Pekka Luukkonen was drafted 3rd overall in the CHL import draft.
Now
he will be reporting to Sudbury. And Sudbury, you know, things are on the up and up. Sudbury, you know, they haven't exactly had the best of luck. They drafted David Levin 1st overall a couple years back. He didn't even get drafted in the NHL, so that was kind of a bust of a pick. But yeah, you know, they get Quentin Byfield, who's supposed to be the 2nd overall pick in the 2020 draft behind Alexis Lafreniere. And then now they get Ukko-Pekka Luukkonen. So hopefully that the Sudbury Wolves can turn their luck around.
Now, do you think it is best for his development playing in Liga or in the CHL, OHL, Sudbury?
I think it's a different story for goaltenders. You know, I think the similar thing happened with Leonard. He played in Sweden and then eventually transitioned over to the CHL. But you know, from a forward or a defenseman playing against men, you know, being in those battles in the corners, you know, you learn from that kind of stuff. And I think that benefits development. In Luukkonen's case, he played in the Mestis League, which is pretty much the equivalent of the AHL in Finland, kind of. So, you know, he probably wasn't going to be the starter for HPK in Finland anyways. So him getting, you know, 2,000 shots a year in the OHL, playing a bunch of games, being the starter there, that's really good for his development. And I think he's going to do really well. He's going to play for Finland in the World Juniors, as we mentioned earlier. He's going to get a lot of starts, and that wasn't going to happen in the Liga this year. So I think this was the right move for him. And, you know, getting picked 3rd overall, I suspected that he was going to be going to Sudbury anyways, because like you don't use a 3rd overall pick on a guy for him not to come over, you know?
Right. Yeah, I had been split on this, but polling some other people, you're now the second person that has said that the Sudbury is best for his development. And one thing about it is because I think the best way to go is playing even with your competition, because all these kids are going to be the same age as him. He's not going to be out of his league, if you will. But I think it's better to approach it playing with kids of your age, staying in that group, and learning from there pretty much. I think that's how you develop.
And he's closer to the development staff too. You know, Sudbury, it's not that far away from Buffalo,
right?
Ontario. So, you know, you're closer to the development staff. You know, Adam Mayer, Chris Barch, those guys. closer to the rinks. And then, he'll be able to make the transition to the American Hockey League next year. Probably won't be the starter, but, getting more starts, more shots, that kind of stuff. It'll better transition him to, and, he gets acclimated to the North American game quicker too. So I'm excited for that. Excited for Luukkonen. I was really excited that they drafted him. And Jason Botterill likes to, Pittsburgh, they have always been drafting goaltenders pretty high. Tristan Jarry, I think he was a second or third round pick. Tim Murray really never swung a high pick on a goaltender. He was going to with the 21st pick in 2015 on Samsonov, but he drafted one goaltender in Jonas Johansson, who is supposed to be the backup to Scott Wedgwood, I believe.
He used a first round pick on a goaltender, all right.
True. Yes.
And it didn't work out.
Wasted one.
Yeah.
They were going to waste the first round pick on a goaltender either way, so let's pump the brakes on that. The past is the past, okay?
Yes.
Time to forget.
Tim Murray, I think Tim Murray needs to be like Voldemort in our book of like Harry Potter. You ever see the Harry Potter movies?
Oh no.
Or read the books. They refer to him as like he who shall not be named. They don't call him Voldemort. I think we ought to treat Tim Murray like Voldemort. Who is the villain?
What's Tim Murray up to? That's what I
don't know.
The dying question. I want to know what this guy's doing.
Every episode, and we don't know yet.
Is he sitting in Shawville just kind of, because my old manager, like, he met Tim Murray and like went to the casino. He saw Tim Murray there, and he was just like telling him stories. And the last time he saw Tim, he was at the ATM, like taking money out, and like I guess he ran out of money and like looked around and ran away, and he didn't see him the rest of the night. So Tim Murray bankrupt. You heard it here first.
Well, he bankrupted our future for the time for a little bit there.
We get the bum tis there, like the good old days. Jeez.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, that was. Oh, wow, we had that. That was a thing.
Blast of the past. You remember that?
Oh yeah.
You've been listening for over the year now.
You a real MVP. You're an OG.
I don't know if this is a rerun or not, but I got NHL Network on my TV in the background, and it looks like Finland versus Sweden is going to start momentarily. So
let me check.
Keep an eye out for that.
It's live.
Yeah, it is live. Okay, so
nice.
Ukko-Pekka Luukkonen. I don't know if he's starting in this game, but I would assume Laaksonen will be.
They're showing Kaapo Kakko right now.
Kaapo Kakko. Remember the name, Kaapo Kakko. This guy is really good, a very good goal scorer. I would put him in the same light as pretty close to Andrei Svechnikov and Patrick Laine. I'm not just saying that because, second overall, projected second overall pick, sniper. This guy's the real deal. Kaapo Kakko is really good.
Gord Miller will be commentating this game. That's exciting.
I love Gord Miller. He's my favorite commentator. He's great.
Fabian Zetterlund.
Okay.
You're hearing our live reactions.
This has become a common occurrence in the Charging Buffalo podcast, but we just had to. We're gonna roast Ottawa again, or I'm gonna roast Ottawa again. You guys seem to really love when I roast the Ottawa Senators, and this is going to be no different. So
this is where we can insert a clip of, I think, Millhouse going, "Stop! He's already dead," or whatever.
And they are already dead.
They are already dead.
It hasn't even started yet, and the Ottawa Senators are already dead. The season is over for them. I'm sorry. They did nothing this offseason. What's the joke?
These guys have nothing on their team, and they won't pay Mark Stone, their best player. They won't pay him.
They did. They signed him to a 1-year deal. They signed 7.3, something like that.
I mean, they took it to arbitration.
Why are you signing him to a 1-year deal? They avoided arbitration. They signed it right before because I would assume that they thought that they'd be going closer to 8 or 9, what Stone was asking for. But Mark Stone is a fantastic player, one of the best wingers in the NHL, and is probably just underrated because he's playing in Ottawa. This guy, he is going to walk. Him,
Get
Erik
out
Karlsson,
of there.
Mark Stone, Eric Carlson, Matt Duchene are all going to be unrestricted free agents on July 1st, 2019. Ottawa
The
is just what is going on there?
You know what? The
Taking your
Cleveland
best player to arbitration, and then you sign him to a 1-year deal. You sign him to a 1-year deal, pretty much taking him to unrestricted free agency. What's the plan there? There's no way that Mark Stone is going to sign an extension in Ottawa. They're going to have to trade him. They're going to have to trade Duchene, and they're going to have to trade Carlson. And you know what? Why would they sign? They're not going to sign, but they don't have their first round pick. So are they going to keep him? Or are they going to keep the 3 and just hope, okay, we cannot give Colorado the first top 5 pick, So are they going to keep him, keep the 3 of them, and just hope, oh, we'll try and sign him. If not, well, then we're screwed. Or are they going to trade them, collect the assets, and then just give Colorado a better pick? You just can't win. If you're Ottawa, you just cannot win. This is horrifically bad. This is such a bad situation. They just need a clean house from top to bottom. If I just hope a billionaire goes out and buys the Ottawa Senators, get Dorian out of there, get Melnick out of there, just trade everybody. They just need a fresh start, just clean house.
It is a sad state of affairs when the Cleveland Browns fan base has more of a reason for optimism,
yes,
than your fan base does.
And they were close to the Stanley Cup final just 2 years ago.
I can't even say the Senators are the Cleveland Browns of the NHL, because the Browns at least are looking okay now.
Yeah,
I can't tell you who the Senators are, really.
And they didn't bring anybody in. They had
the Senators have no identity right now.
They did. They signed Paul Carey. Paul Carey was their big fish in free agency.
And Cody Ceci is demanding $6 million, which is the funniest joke of the offseason.
The arbiter gives him 4.3, I believe. Mm-hmm. If I'm Ottawa, I would have just walked away from that. I'm not paying Cody Ceci $4 million. This is ridiculous. No way. Cody Ceci was probably worth less than the team offer Ottawa was giving them. He's terrible. He's not good. And Tim Murray draft pick, by the way, too. Man.
By the way, NHL Network has just shown the same 3 commercials on loop twice in a row. But we can get back on to we can get back on. They went. Yeah, carry on.
We have beaten this dead horse probably every episode since, probably going back 5 episodes now, but it's just so fun. I love
oh my God, they're showing the real VR, the real reality commercial again. But sorry. What I was gonna say is the reason we talk about it is because there's literally something even stupider happening every week than what happened the last.
In the saga episode, of the Senators. Something happens.
Mm-hmm.
Next time they're probably going to trade Eric Carlson and demand that Bobby Ryan's included.
Next time on the Ottawa Senators.
We need an open for roast the Senators. We need to work on that.
Yeah.
We need to work on that. We need special more opens for segments.
We need more sounds. We need we need to, and that's one of my goals, is to expand our presentation going into this next year. And I think for stuff like this, where we got to have something funny for the Senators.
Yes, roast the Senators. We need weekly Senators updates, because people love.
Yes.
I love the feedback we get on our Ottawa Senators talk.
The voice on SpongeBob. It sounds like this. It's like, this week in the saga of the Senators.
I like it.
Yes.
The Ottawa Senators saga. Now watch they go out and make the Eastern Conference final. Just magically, Eric Carlson signs an 8-year extension. They keep Matt Duchene. Wouldn't that just be hilarious if they don't trade Matt Duchene? They don't trade him, and then he just walks for nothing, and Colorado gets the first overall pick plus all the platoon of assets that Ottawa gave him. Oh my goodness! Just what a mess! What a mess!
An absolute mess.
Okay, we're gonna move on from our Ottawa talk to
this is what I've been looking forward to.
Yes, our projected lineups. We got I would say at least 15 requests every time we do an episode for projected lineup. But now's the time because this roster is complete, I would say. I don't think anything else is going to happen. So would you like to do yours first?
Yeah, I'll go first. I tried not to look at yours because I didn't want to be based off it. However, here are mine.
Hold on. Let's do this. You give your first line, then I'll do my first line.
Yeah, we'll split it. We'll split it. Yeah. That way we won't go too fast or too slow. My first line is centered by Jack Eichel. Should we do this like? Never mind. I want to do it like I want to do at least mine like the Sabres PA guy.
Go ahead.
Okay.
Go ahead.
So this is opening night. At center, number 9, the captain, Jack Eichel. Jack Eichel will be
thunderous applause.
Perhaps not captain. He'd be introduced last.
True.
At left wing or right wing, depending where you want him. Number 23, Sam Reinhart. Long overdue. And at right wing, number 53, Jeff, the Skin Man Skinner. So yeah, that's my first line.
I have the same exact line. Skinner on the left, Eichel centering, and Sam Reinhart on the right. They need to end this experimentation with Sam Reinhart at center. Just put him with Eichel. I like Skinner, the thought of Skinner with Eichel. And I did a test in NHL 18 franchise mode. Skinner and Eichel. Eichel was point per game. Skinner had like 39 goals, 70 points. So it works. Foolproof.
That was the one line of yours I did look at because I originally had Oposo on my first line. Because
I wouldn't mind that.
There's room to flex him around now. I think that if he doesn't do good on the third line or on the first line, it won't be as consequential putting him on the third line instead.
Okay.
Should I go with my second?
I'll do my second, then you do your second. So I have Casey Middlestat centering Connor Sherry and Tage Thompson. I really would, because Tage Thompson, his shot is just amazing. I think Casey Middlestat dishing this guy the puck, he could score, 15, maybe 20 goals next season. And I was kind of split. I know the right idea is to put Jeff Skinner with Jack Eichel, and that'll work. But I think Jeff Skinner with Casey Middlestat could work very well too. And, is Connor Sherry going to be better served alongside Jack Eichel? You never know. So I think it's worth experimenting who's going to be playing left wing with Eichel and Reinhart in preseason, whether it's Skinner or Sherry. I think you can't go wrong either way if you have Middlestat with Skinner or Middlestat with Sherry. But yeah, I want to see Tage Thompson next to Casey Middlestat. I think that's going to be very exciting to watch if that's the case.
For my second line, I have Casey Middlestat centering, Connor Sherry on one of his wings, and then the other being Kyle Oposo. You can tell I really want Oposo to be featured prominently on this team. I think just give him a second chance. It's not going to do much for him or the perception of him if you keep playing him on the third line.
Yeah, and Oposo, remember, he's got the full offseason to work this go-around. Like last time, he was recovering from that season-ending illness that he had. Didn't get the full offseason to do his, full offseason routine, what hockey players usually do. So I hope that he can turn it around. He had a very, very, very rough start. Had kind of a part of the season where he played very well, in my opinion. Kind of fizzled out again towards the end of the season.
He was still a 40-point guy.
Yeah.
And I think
Oposo can get 55, maybe 60 points being generous, that helps out a lot too. Like I mentioned with Nylander earlier, if Nylander and Oposo, can surprise people, if Bogosian can bounce back, you just never know. You never know.
And I understand people's frustration. It is warranted. It is understandable, I should say, because you're paying the guy $6 million a year, whatever it is, and you expect him to.
Exactly.
You expect him to produce at a $6 million pace. Do you want me to do my third line, or did you want to go?
Side note here: is NHL Network ever going to stop playing this commercial of the real VR? Just stop.
Okay, this is
like the 5th time I've seen this commercial.
They have gone real VR. What was after real VR? It's gone real VR, something else, and then that Fanatics Washington Capitals Stanley Cup champions commercial.
Yeah,
it is a constant loop of
I'm
these.
seeing the Geico soccer commercial right now, and then they're playing the Fanatics ShopNHL.com commercial.
Fanatics
just
is on
a loop. It just never stops.
This is how you know this whole thing is automation.
Yeah. Okay, on to your third line.
Yeah, my third line, it'll be centered by Evan Rodriguez. I'm a huge fan of his. I have Jason Pominville and Patrick Berglund on his wings. I'm not yet giving up on Pominville. I think it's just it's not right putting him on the fourth line. I don't feel comfortable doing that. I want Rodriguez to get a bit of a push in the lineup, and Berglund is the guy who he's a middle six guy. And you're not going to put him, in my opinion, above Oposo or Sherry. Obviously not Sherry, but I think that third right wing spot I have him slotted in is a good fit for him.
I have, for my third line, I have Patrick Berglund centering Vladimir Sabatka and Kyle Oposo. Kind of a slowish third line. I would have liked to get some more speed in there, but that's just kind of the way it worked out for me. I would have maybe put Rodriguez on the left side instead of Sabatka. I know Sabatka can play center, but I guess that's just the way it worked out. I don't foresee that line, if that actually happens, being very fast, because Oposo is not the fastest guy. Sabatka's okay. Berglund's not the fastest guy as well. So
that's what I tried to avoid when setting up these lines. Was I tried to complement speed with power or skill, however you want to say it. But I tried to at least put one speedster on each line, or one guy that can move the puck.
One thing that I'm noticing, this is probably one of the fastest teams the Sabres have had in a while. Is that right?
Yeah, I'd say so. Eichel, Skinner, Middlestead, Sherry, they're all quick guys. And that's just the forwards.
Rodriguez can move. Wilson's pretty fast as well.
Defense, we have a few guys. Gergensons can move, yeah.
Okay, and then
Gergenson's kind of like Halls. He's like a freight train, but he could move.
Yeah, Latvian locomotive. Okay, and my fourth line, I have Evan Rodriguez centering Jason Pominville and Scott Wilson. I don't think Pominville should play. I think just keep him in the locker room, have him there to mentor the younger guys, put him in case of injury. I think there's better options in Rochester to come up and play. But, he did score, 15 goals last year. Yeah. Did he have 50 points? I don't think he had 50. Did he have 50 points?
Who were you talking?
Pominville.
Oh, geez. I don't know. He had a good number.
He did not have 50 points. He had a lot of goals, though, product of Eichel. But
yeah, he certainly fed Eichel a lot. That's for sure.
I think they should definitely give him a chance to start, but I cannot see him playing any more than 50 games.
Yeah, I don't think you'll
give some other guys an opportunity. But it's good to have him in the locker room.
It is.
And I think Scott Wilson definitely has to play, or at least to start at least. I was impressed by him last season. And then my extras, I have Larson and Gergensons for forwards.
Now, this kills me because Scotty is my man. It's just I have Gergensons centering Sabotka and Thompson because I don't think you kick Pominville out of the lineup. And obviously Sabotka and Thompson and Gergensons. I think Wilson is just the odd man out, but he is my 13th forward, and I have a few more extras. I have Larson after Wilson, and then Bailey, Baptiste, and CJ Smith as the following guys. Yes.
Okay, go on to the defense now. I have Marco Scandella and Rasmus Ristolainen. That was a pair that worked at times last season. I personally wouldn't mind seeing Marco Scandella alongside Rasmus Dahlin, kind of the defensive presence in Scandella. You can kind of let Dahlin roam free, but that's also the case for Ristolainen. Scandella would allow Ristolainen to get up into the rush and hopefully produce some points.
Mhm.
Then you have Dahlin and Bogosian. Logic behind this, I think Dahlin would help Bogosian kind of have a comeback year. That is, if he doesn't get injured in the first preseason game.
Mhm.
And then I have Brendan Gooley and Jake McCabe together. And Paul Hamilton mentioned this on WGR the other day. Gooley could very well start out in Rochester. I wouldn't be surprised. He's the only guy out of this group of 9 that everyone's identifying as the guys who should be in contention for a starting 6 spot on this team that
Mhm.
doesn't have to go through waivers. So it would be easy just kind of put them down there, experiment between McCabe, Nelson, Beaulieu, Hunwick to see who's going to be earning those last couple of spots. And then if he performs well, you can just call him up.
Mhm.
And then, of course, Carter Hutton and Linus Allmark in net.
Yeah. My defense, I really like this first pairing, just thinking about it. Again, if one of them can stay healthy, Ristolainen and Bogosian. I think that's a very nice, just power duo, strictly defense. Risto could chip in on offense as well. I want to see these guys play together. I think it would be super fun. Again, if Bogo can stay healthy. My second pairing, I've wanted this forever now. Scandella and Dahlin. I think Scandella is the best guy on the team right now to bring him along because he's going to play every game. He's not young. He's a vet. He's played enough, and I think he can show Dahlin the ropes of the NHL. And my last pairing, I have Gooley and McCabe. And for my extras, I have Beaulieu, Casey Nelson, and Hunwick. And we're talking about speed with the forwards. How about Gooley and Dahlin bringing the speed that they have too? That's exciting. Casey Nelson's a fast guy too.
I don't think Housley would have the stones to put 2 rookies together like that.
Yeah, I don't either. But just thinking, having that speed on the ice at different times, that's fun.
Yep.
And goalies, of course, Hutton and Allmark.
Mm-hmm. Carter Hutton talking about perfect world. If he can have a year similar to what he did in St. Louis last season, that would be terrific. But I just don't see that as a realistic possibility. I don't think that's possible.
Mm-hmm. It's
930 save percentage. He's never. This is the first time having a official quote unquote starter position. So I'm excited to see if Carter Hutton can thrive in this new role.
It has happened before. We know the stories of Devin Dubnyk and Tim Thomas.
Yeah, true.
But wait and see. I don't think he's not going to be a disaster. We're going to have better goaltending than last year.
He should be and just an average, above average backup goalie.
Yeah. That itself, the fact that we have better goaltending.
920 save percentage. And I hope Allmark can kind of prove as to why everybody's so high on him. I think he's going to play well, too. He's going to play 30, 35 games, split time with Carter Hutton. I think he's going to play well.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, now I want to talk about this. Jason Bottrell's job performance. He's been on the job for a little over a year now. What do you think of Jason's performance as Sabres general manager thus far?
I remember I was highly critical, and I said this last week of his the Kane trade. It's okay to overreact sometimes. Everybody gets a little frustrated, and he has certainly made me happy. He
won you over.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. I really think Bottrell, he's running this team like a Sabres fan. It's like he's reading tweets, or something. He's going on Cap Friendly and like doing these trades, and it's amazing because if somebody posted that trade on Cap Friendly, he would
have been roasted. He would have been roasted. If you would have said Cliff Poo a second, a third, and a sixth for Jeff Skinner, you would have gotten 1 star on Cap Friendly, and you would have been
that is like
saying unrealistic. 1 star, you suck.
That reminds me of a trade that you personally would tell me about and like go back and crap all over. Because this dude, is making all these armchair GMs look like geniuses.
That's what Tim Murray did too. Tim Murray was like a video game riverboat gambler GM.
Yeah, yeah.
Like trading for Ryan O'Reilly and Evander Kane, giving up, overpaying. Well, in the sense of overpaying, that doesn't happen.
Yeah, the difference is
like Jason Botterill. That's robbery. That's video game.
Riverboat
that trade doesn't even go through on easy on NHL 18.
It literally
on easy
doesn't.
difficulty.
They are getting roasted by one of the most incompetent video game development teams in EA NHL.
Yeah.
Like, that is just...
Yes, did you see the tweet when they had Skinner in the Sabres uniform?
Yes.
When you make a trade on easy difficulty, something like that?
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
Straight savagery by EA NHL. That was hilarious. I loved that.
Jason Botterill, though, the man continues to do it. How is the league letting him get away with this?
Like, I said this. He's the next Steve Yzerman. He's the next Steve Yzerman.
I hope.
Jason Botterill is a very, very, very smart guy. Sometimes I wonder how things would be different if LaFontaine picked him instead of Tim Murray.
Yeah.
You know,
it's
what
almost
direction
scary.
he would have gone in. But I think he's doing a great job. I know people I've been saying this for over a year now. Like, he's been doing great. Seems like every move that he makes, it's a calculated decision. Everything, structure, communication, all those buzzwords that Terry Pegula was using when he was looking to find the Tim Murray's replacement. But yeah, he fits that bill. He's a professional. This guy knows what he's doing, and I'm not surprised he's doing a great job. I'm surprised it took him this long to get a GM job, to be completely honest with you. I'm very impressed.
Yeah,
there hasn't been a red flag for me.
No,
Tim Murray,
absolutely not.
He had a red flag about a year in when he traded for Robin Leonard. That was my first red flag with him. Even, at the trade deadline when he traded 2 second-round picks and Brady McNabb for Hudson Fasching and Nick Delorier. There's no red flags for me yet. And update from the World Junior Summer Showcase, Lassi Lettinen is playing for Team Finland. I don't know why Ukko-Pekka Luukkonen only gets 1 start in the Summer Showcase. I just guess maybe they're just resting him because I would assume that he's their number 1.
I just want to say, Finland's coach looks like a complete badass.
Yeah.
Man, he looks like just a total, Slavic bad man.
Oh my god! And then seeing the Swedish coach, he's suspended for the first 3 games for the World Juniors because of the medal debacle.
Oh yeah,
yeah, that's true.
Lame.
My goodness! Wow. Oh, sorry, I'm just captivated by this game for a second.
Yeah,
but I mean, yeah, Jason Botterill, he's doing a great job. The Scandella trade was. I'm not going to... It was a great trade, though. I like the Ryan O'Reilly trade. I think that... I understand why Blues fans think they robbed us. And on the surface, it looks like they didn't give up that much. They gave up expendable parts. The Blues are trying to contend for a cup. They're going all in. They're trying to win a Stanley Cup. Trading that first-round pick is expendable. Kind of like how Buffalo trading that second-round pick in the Skinner trade, it was expendable. They have all these great prospects. Robert Thomas, now they have Dominic Bach, and they have Jordan Kyrou. Tage Thompson was expendable.
Yeah.
And then they gave up a couple cap dumps in Berglund and Sabatka and another second-round pick. Those are expendable parts. It's kind of similar to the Skinner trade from a Buffalo point of view.
Yeah.
I would understand that. But, you look back at when the Sabres acquired O'Reilly, expendable parts. Given up to Colorado. But then that trade looks better and better for Colorado every passing day. JT Compher is looking like he's going to be a very good third-line center, maybe even a second-line center someday.
Zadorov is coming into his own.
Zadorov is becoming a decent second-pair defenseman. that second round pick. They traded down. They got AJ Greer, who's looking like he'll
He's
probably
looking good.
making an impact for Colorado. And by trading down, they got a couple other picks too. Dennis Smirnov is one of the guys who they picked in the 2017 draft with one of those picks that they trade down for. And Cam Morrison, they got another second round pick from San Jose by trading down. He was a 2016 second round pick. So that tree is building for the Avalanche, and it's looking much better than armed robbery. So I'd pump the brakes on calling it armed robbery either way. I think Tage Thompson is going to surprise people. He's going to be a very good player in the NHL, or that's a second or third line guy. But they got the first round pick, a second round pick. I think Berglund is going to surprise some people as well. He had kind of a downish year last year, but he's good for 15, maybe even 20 goals if he can perform well. And I think Sabaka is going to be a very much needed upgrade on the third, fourth line.
I think my rating right now for Bottrell, I'm going to give him a B plus because I feel like an A or anything higher than that is just a little
ambitious.
It's a little ambitious and pandering a bit, and Homer like to do at the moment because I feel like there's still. Once we get to the playoffs, I feel like then it's an A job well done.
I'm going to give him B plus too. I agree with you.
I think it's fair.
Okay. Shall we get to questions now?
Yes. We
went a little longer than we expected, but that happens sometimes. We always say we're gonna go 45 minutes. We go an hour and 45 minutes instead. But this question comes from Depressed Buffaloes. Also, I want to give them a shout out. The Broken Bandwagon podcast. They've done a couple podcasts so far. Thoroughly enjoyed it. They do a great job over there. I highly recommend that you check it out. Please give them. Please tell them that we sent you.
There you go, boy.
They do a great job. Just starting out, they do a really good job. So please check it out.
One love.
Who gets an A? And then Nick Cuomo also asks, oh wait, yeah, we'll get to that in a little bit. The guy under him, Aiden, asks, who do you think will be the captains this year? So that kind of coincides with Depressed Buffalo's question. So I think Jack will be the captain. I think you're in agreement with that too.
Yes.
As far as A's go, they'll do 3, right? Not 2. 3 A's.
I
kind of rotate.
I don't know. Around. Can you only
they had 4 A's last year. They would only be able to wear 2 A's.
Right. I think they'd only be able to do
they'll just rotate one around. So if I would have to guess, I would guess that the 3 A's would go to Bogosian, Oposo, and Pominville. Yeah,
I'd say
because O'Reilly's gone, Pominville would get his A.
I'd say Pominville. I want Risto to have one.
I don't see any reason why Rasmus Ristolainen should wear an A. I don't see any reason. Bottrell called him out for not being a leader, pretty much. He was talking about guys that have been here for years and are kind of like sitting in the background, not leading. I saw that as more of a dig at like Baptiste and stuff. Guys, I don't think so. I think that was a direct shot at Ristolainen and Girgensons because those were the only guys that have been here for that long.
Maybe Girgensons
a shot. Yeah, him too. Like both of them need to step up. Remember, like 4 years ago when people were saying that Girgensons is the next captain in this team? That's hilarious.
Yeah,
I know. How the mighty fall. Yeah.
But yeah, Jack with a C, Risto with an A, and I think Pominville has to get one.
Okay, so there's that, and then Nick Cuomo asks thoughts on Ukko-Pekka Luukkonen playing in Sudbury instead of Finland. We got to that earlier. We think that's a good idea.
It's fine. Yeah.
And then DF as Middlestat is definitely looking at starting at center, but I could see him spending a lot of time at the wing this year. Thoughts? Is this the year Sam gets some major time at center in lieu of Ryan O'Reilly getting moved and the addition of major assets on the wing? I think that Middlestat playing the wing is a legit possibility because if you look at the amount of centers they have on this team, because Reinhardt can play center, and for some reason Bottrell and Housley keep alluding to the fact that he can play center, but they should just keep him on the wing. But they also have Berglund who can play center, Sabaka can play center, Thompson can play center. I'd see him more as a winger though. Larson and Girgensons can play center. Plus they have Malone and O'Regan in Rochester that can also play center. So they got no shortage of centers. If they want to play KC with Eichel on the wing, maybe put, oh my goodness, a combination of Skinner, Eichel, and Middlestat would be nothing short of fantastic. But yeah, there's no shortage of centers. There's endless amount of line combinations and possibilities they can go in if they want to try Casey at the wing.
Yeah, I'm not sure Reinhardt's future is at center, but I think Middlestat has time to move around. I think if you want to experiment with him, I'm sure he'll thrive at either spot. I'm just big for spreading out depth across all four lines, so I'd like him to be a center because I don't want someone else to have to take someone else off a line to come play center on the second line.
Okay, Nick asks, early power play combination predictions. I've been thinking about this lately. I would like Middlestat playing center, Skinner on the right side as an off-wing shot, and then I want Eichel on the off-wing on the left power play. I want Dahlin on the right point, Eichel on the left point, and then Reinhardt on the left side, but then like Reinhardt and Middlestat would switch, have Reinhardt in front of the net. Middlestat would take the faceoffs, if that makes any sense. I don't know who would put a second power play unit. I'd have to have the roster in front of me.
On my first unit, I would not be opposed to Ristolainen quarterbacking with Dahlin still on the ice. I know the new age power.
Would go 2 defensemen.
I would, simply because it's Rasmus Dahlin. That's the only reason why. Dahlin, I think, would be your rover. Risto can be your setup man, and then you have Eichel on his off wing. You have Middlestat centering, and then Skinner on the. I'd have this the second pairing actually. I'd have Reinhardt on Eichel's power play unit, so he can be in front of the net. My second unit would have to be. I don't know who I would have centering it, actually. But I'd have Sherry and Skinner on it, definitely, and then go with the 1D on that.
Maybe Rodriguez centering the second power play unit.
Maybe I wouldn't be opposed to that. I think I like having depth guys get involved in the power play. I think Rodriguez could be good there.
Would probably get Pominville on the point in the second unit. Wouldn't I'd
like a Pozo though, as like a big guy in front. I think he could
in front.
Take some vision. Or Berglund
in front of that wouldn't be a bad idea as well.
Yeah, just take some vision away from
Goalie on the power play too wouldn't be a bad idea. Maybe Goalie and Ristolainen.
If I were to choose a quarterback, though, I'd like a healthy Bogosian. If not him, then Scandella. Yeah, Bogosian would be fun.
Scandella can get the puck. He can fire the puck. He couldn't get on net much last year, but yeah.
He had a few goals last year. He was probably our best scoring defenseman.
Yeah, I think Buffalo had like 19 goals from their defense last year. That's inexcusable. They need a little more.
Yeah. We haven't had good defense scoring in years. Really, I don't remember when we ever have, to be honest.
Andrew, with the next question, he asks, does Jeff Skinner stay at 53 or go with a new number? What do you say?
There's no reason for him to switch. I'm anticipating he's going to stay at 53.
Yeah, why 53? Chris Ostrander was saying this.
Yeah.
On the day the Sabres acquired him. It's a weird number, and he's worn it going back to his junior days. So,
there's probably some significance.
50. 53 isn't a weird number. I wouldn't mind seeing him wear like 12 or 8. No, 8 taken, but something a good number. 53 is kind of weird. I don't like weird numbers in the 40s, 50s, 60s, something like that. 30s even is kind of weird for me.
I like seeing guys in. I
like the really high numbers, 80s, 90s. Those are cool.
My favorite numbers are like 98, 92. Like stuff like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Next one comes from Buffalo Nino. He says favorite WGR personality. My favorite is Jeremy White. Ooh. Jeremy White is probably my favorite. I'm also Paul Hamilton gets a lot of crap. I like Paul Hamilton. Good man. He's misunderstood, the poor guy.
I like Paul Hamilton too. He doesn't say anything that is meant to take people off. I think people just don't like hearing what is going to be said, pretty much. I don't want to say what is the truth, but like They don't want to hear what, or in some cases, it's the truth. They don't want to hear what the coaches are actually thinking because it's not what they want.
Yeah.
But my favorite, oh God, I don't know. I just enjoy listening. I enjoy hearing what.
Pick a favorite. Come on.
I don't want to say Jeremy White. You know what? I mean, I've been listening to them forever. I like Show Up in the Bulldog.
Yes.
I've listened to them since I was a child. Like they're what I know. They're what draws me to WGR. I'm sorry. When I want to listen to WGR, I look to the clock for 3:00 and I'm like, okay, time I'll listen to Show Up in the Bulldog. They're the flagship.
Show Up in the Bulldog is gonna be great coming the fall.
It is.
Just saying.
It
is. Wink, wink.
Oh.
You know what I'm talking about. You know what I'm talking about.
I know you're talking about.
Can't say anything yet, but yeah. Anyways, Tom, with the question next, is there any possible chance they can make a 35-point jump in the standings? 35 points seems extreme.
We can do it.
But Colorado did a 35-point jump last year, did they not? Something like that.
More than that. I mean, absolutely
anything's
more.
Possible. He did a poll here, so I'm just going to vote in it. Let's see the results.
I think absolutely they can.
80% say yes, 20% say no. 20 votes. It's possible. I don't know if it's going to happen, though. My opinion hasn't really changed. I don't think they're going to be a playoff team. They'll probably pick, somewhere 8, 9, 10. But is playoffs a legitimate possibility now? I think so. It's not crazy. I think last year we were all like lying to ourselves that the coach was just going to change everything. But this team, they have depth now. They have the top end talent. And I would give it like a 40-60% chance that they can make the playoffs. That might be being generous.
I'm feeling optimistic. I am more excited. I've been telling everybody this. I'm more excited for this season than I was Eichel's rookie year. I just there's so many new faces. It's just we have the Skin Man.
Yes, we have the Skin.
We have Connor Sherry. We have Casey Middlestat. We
have Jack Eichel.
Rasmus Dahlin. It's like it's a who's who of exciting talent, and I want to watch. I can't wait for hockey.
I can't wait for me and my friend. We're going to be sitting 4th row, center ice.
I'm looking into single game tickets.
I am beyond excited.
Oh, I'm so excited. I'm so excited for that first show.
Remember the first episode in season 2?
I do.
Podcast. Wow, we were so naive. We were young and dumb. We were young and dumb. We thought that after a nice shootout loss to Montreal, that better things would come. And then the next episode, you can go back and see this. Listen to it with your own ears.
We were 0-6, and I was still saying the season wasn't done.
Yes, the 15-game test. The 15-game test.
The 15-game test. The 05
The 15-game test could be determined after the third game when they got crapped on by New Jersey and the Islanders. Like, wow, this is going to be a long season. But it all pays off. Everything happens for a reason. They have Rasmus Dahlin. They have the Skin Man, as we're going to call him now, I guess. Jack Eichel is here for 8 more years. And everything's looking up. They just got to piece it all together now.
Or two. You and I, we're here to cover this.
Yes.
And I think that's
great.
That's the most exciting part.
Just show me fun. I don't care about the wins. I just want to have fun. Last season was not fun. No. If anything, it was the complete and utter opposite of fun. Last season was cancerous. It was the worst season of my life. I can't think of a worse season, including the tank years, because the tank years were fun because you had something to root for. You were rooting for the Sabres to lose. Heck, I was driving the tank. I was driving that tank.
You were commanding it.
I was a tank commander, yes. Oh, my God. Bad memories. But anyways, there are better days ahead.
Yes.
Awesome, Bob. Did Carolina really just give Jeff Skinner away for that little? Yes, it is not a dream. It actually happened. Point prediction from Middlestat and Dahlin. That comes from Tyler.
Oh, God.
I'll go first. Middlestat, 50. I would go 40 to 50. Darlene, 30 to 45.
You know what?
Kind of a range.
I'm going to say it. Middlestat is going to have, I agree with you, 40-50. Rasmus Dahlin is going to approach 60 points.
Oh, pump the brakes. Pump the brakes.
I'm feeling it.
That's like maybe even like if he gets 60 points and like if the Sabres make the playoffs like Norris. Could you imagine like a rookie wins the Norris trophy? Could you imagine? That'd be okay. People, I just want to let you know. There's one thing that I have experienced in my life, and that is one lesson that I want to say right now. The key to not being disappointed is to not expect anything. Don't expect playoffs. Don't expect last place. Don't expect anything. Just let it happen. Let it unfold before your eyes so you're not disappointed. So you're surprised. Heck, if the Sabres make the playoffs, it'd be nice to be like, yeah, I knew it was going to happen all along. But you're going to it's going to be fun either way.
I'm going to backtrack a minute here so people don't think I'm an idiot. I'm going to say between 30 and 40 points. 30, 40. But like
60 points.
Do I think he's capable of that? Yeah, I'm not going to say it's this year, but I think he'll definitely get to 30.
Oh, he's definitely capable of 60 in the future. Not in his rookie year though.
Just think when he is a grown man, a fully grown man.
Fully grown, beautiful Swedish boy. Rasmus Dahlin. Oh, Finland scored.
Yep.
What's going on here? Who scored? I can't tell.
I don't know.
I got the delayed game here.
You know what I can't wait for? I can't wait to renew my NHL TV subscription.
It's not worth it for me. I'm never home.
Oh, okay.
Heck, I probably won't even be able to watch many of the Sabres games this year live.
Oh, that's right.
You
don't even have a TV where you work. Oh, boy.
No, I do not. Yes, where you work, you can watch the games.
Oh, we're all about Buffalo, baby.
As Tim Murray would say, I'd get my pee-pee slapped if I caught on my phone. So,
we're all about the Sabres where I'm at, boy.
Well, actually, without giving anything away, I will be able to at least be listening to the games. Heck, maybe even watching them, but that would be okay. Might be giving too much away there. But we'll go to the Instagram questions now. Well, we'll do like 4 or 5 of them. I'll answer the rest of your questions on our stories, the new amazing feature that Instagram put in where you can ask questions. So, CJ Smith saw it. Cool.
Oh, Instagram actually made that feature for us. The guys at Instagram heard our show and were like,
yes,
we need to help these dudes out.
Antonio, it's coming. It's coming. It's coming. It's 8:30. Where's my podcast? It's coming.
It's coming.
Coming to Vegas for the Buffalo game this season. Cool. Nice.
There you go.
Skinner now or wait until the end of the season? That comes from Frankie 222. I'm gonna say they definitely should sign him now because if Skinner has like 40 goals, 80 points, something crazy like that, he's asking for $8 million instead of $7. So, sign him 7 years, $7 million. That's probably what he's going to be asking for because that's what Kane got. Maybe even a little more. That's okay. They'll have the money for it. Believe me.
Yeah, I'm all about knowing what you're going to do ahead of time. So get him now. That'll give you a clear look of what you want to do with Pominville. If you really do have to get rid of him instead of working around, if you need another guy like him, keep him around. A guy like Beaulieu. I like seeing what you got to do as the next season approaches, next off season.
Next one comes from Jordan. He asks, what needs to happen for the Sabres to make the playoffs? I'm not going to say everything needs to go right, but a lot needs to go right. Carter Hutton needs to have a similar season to what he had last year. Zach Bogosian needs to be healthy. Rasmus Ristolainen needs to take a step. Dahlin needs to be like a top 4 defenseman. He needs to have a good year. Casey Middlestat having a Matt Barzal-like season.
Yeah,
the Islanders last season. Eichel, he needs to have that offensive explosion that we've been waiting for, like an 85, 90-point season. Oposo needs to come back. Heck, maybe can we get a contribution from a surprise guy in Rochester, Alex Nylander? I'm talking to you. I think that's what would have to happen in order for the Sabres to make the playoffs.
I think Eichel needs to really jump. I think he needs to completely skyrocket, take his game to the next level. I'm talking 80 points in that realm, somewhere around there. I think the defense has to start scoring. I think the defense has to be better, quite frankly. And I think the goaltending has to be pretty darn good consistently.
And to press Buffaloes with the next question, again, check out the Broken Bandwagon podcast. Check them out on Twitter. Who is / will be the fastest on the team? Eichel, Skinner, Gooley. I think Gooley is probably the best skater on the team.
You think so?
Yes. Definitely one of. Definitely.
If we're picking from those three,
Gooley's the best skater, but we're talking fastest here, so it might be. Again, it's been a while since I've been watching these guys play. So
and what were the choices again? Sorry,
it was like Eichel, Skinner, Gooley, but Middlestat. Middlestat's not faster than those guys, I don't think. But
I would say,
it'd probably be down to those three.
Eichel probably.
Eichel's probably the fastest, but I think Gooley is the best skater. I
don't know. I still think Eichel's the best skater on the team, and then Dahlin. It might have, it might have changed. I think I said differently a few weeks ago, but what are you gonna do?
Next one comes from Joe. He says, "How do you think Rochester will do this season?"
I think we'll
similar. I think similar. Probably, I would hope to think that they can get out of the first round of the playoffs. That's for sure.
Yeah, I hope they can get a playoff win. I just want to see them. I want to see them do something late in the season.
Next one comes from Ben. Do we need another top six forward? In my opinion, we do. I think they definitely do need another top six forward, but it's not going to come today. Is that Alex Nylander someday? Possibly. Is that one of our 3 first-round picks in the 2019 draft? Possibly. I don't think it's going to come tomorrow. I don't think it's going to come this season. It might come next year.
Yeah,
internally, or whether that's a trade, free agent signing, who knows?
I don't think you can ever have too many top flight forwards. I think a couple, having one more top 6 guy might be good, because then that would move like a guy like Connor Sherry into your bottom 6, which is not a problem at all.
Yeah. And then we get a few questions about how the acquisition of Skinner affects expectations for the team. I think I've mentioned it a little bit before here. I don't think it changes much. I think he makes the team a lot more fun to watch, but he essentially, I saw this on Twitter earlier, I forget who said it, but he's replacing Kane. He pretty much adds a few more goals to what Evander Kane did for this team. So, again, you need the full team around these guys to produce as well in order to win. So
I think Skinner might have a better skill set, though, than Kane. Yeah, I think Skinner might be a more complete player. Skill-wise.
Yeah, and he's Kane's a better character guy as well.
Better character, yeah.
Okay, should we wrap it up there?
Yeah, we'll wrap it up. Shout out our social medias, of course. You could find me on Twitter at LVKETCB. That's Luke TCB with a V.
And you can follow me on Twitter as well at JoeTCB NHL. Check out our blog, thechargingbuffalo.net. As well as you can check out our social media accounts on Twitter and Instagram at The Charging Buff. So that'll do it for this episode of the Charging Buffalo podcast. If you enjoyed, we'd like to hear your feedback, good or bad. We'd love to hear it. You can DM us or add us, Twitter, Instagram, whatever you feel like doing. And I'm sure we'll catch you guys in a week or two on the next episode. Maybe a fun one, something like the Jersey Draft.
Yeah.
Maybe bring in a guest, someone else from TCB. Maybe we'll get Jared or Steve on again.
Or someone outside the realm of TCB who's quite well known.
We'll try and get somebody
quite well known.
Yep. But that'll do it for this episode. Until the next one, goodbye.